Hey guys, and welcome back to Pro Speed Baseball. Now, in the Pro Speed hitting system, we talk about a big piece of the swing called the straight arm release, which happens just after transition into the max bat lag position. We get into the straight arm release where this bat splits the forearms in two. Well, in today's video, we're going to show you how to properly release that bat. Now guys, this is a huge piece. Understanding how to release the bat technically, I've seen guys jump up almost 10 miles an hour in bat speed in the same day just by starting to release the bat properly. So this is a very important video to not only learn how to release that bat properly, but to gain a lot more speed in your swing. Let's go ahead and get started. Now guys, why the release is so important is because this is really where we start to get our bat speed. Whenever they measure bat speed, that's when this bat's starting to be released. They don't measure it back here from the top when you're transitioning. They measure that when the bat actually starts to leave your forearm. So if you're looking from down the line view, when we're in this lag position, when this bat starts to leave your forearms, that's the beginning of the release, when these wrists actually start to go and we start to release that bat. Now, that's why it's very important for the bat speed, but it's also very important to get to contact much more quickly if we do it correctly. So how do we do this correctly? Well, it's a very, very simple concept. And if you know the max bat lag position from the hitting system, we get into this max lag position where we've maxed out this angle between our forearms and the bat. I'll show you from down the line as well. And how we're going to do this properly is we start to unhinge the wrist and roll over. So what's going to happen is when we're in this max lag position, we actually start unhinging the wrist, which is this movement that it's called ulnar and radial deviation, where the wrist unhinge and these right hand or the top hand starts to roll over the bottom hand. So I'm over exaggerating a little bit here, of course, just for example for the video, but we're unhinging and rolling over. That is the release in its most simple form. Guys, this is a very easy concept, but it's a very, very powerful concept. Now, why do we want to release the bat this way? Well, first and foremost, efficiency. We're talking about wanting to move this bat a long ways with the least amount of movement. That's going to be efficiency. So the idea here is to move the bat longer through the hitting area with less body movement. So you're still going to want speed in the body. You're still going to want to fire everything hard, but at some point the upper body actually starts to decelerate. And that's when the outside part of our force, which is the bat swinging through, is going to accelerate through the ball. So when we're releasing the bat, the body's actually slowing down because the body gets going and then we start unhinging and rolling over those wrists. The body starts slowing down so the bat can speed up through contact. So it's a little bit more of a timing thing to be in sync. You can watch some videos like the forward shoulder tilt video to kind of get a better idea of being in sync. But if we understand how this is efficient, then we can understand this is how we want to do this in our swing. So, we get a lot of questions out there about rotational hitting, or why we want to actually get the bat here and rotate into the ball and do all this. And this doesn't really comply with what you would see what rotational hitting would teach is we're wanting to unhinge the wrist to square up the ball versus rotate to square up the ball. So I'm going to explain that really quickly. We actually have another great video called How to Square Up the Ball, but this is the concept of that video. If we think about squaring up the ball, let's just say this is a perfect down the middle pitch, and I hold my bat, and I just hold the bat up. We can pretend that this bat is just suspended in space, and we can say that this bat is coming to this ball perfectly square, and this ball is going to leave perfectly 90-degree angle off the bat, and just be as hard as we can possibly hit this ball. Well, there's two big ways we can get the bat to this point. So if you guys remember this position right here, the first way, which I kind of hit on right there, which is a little bit more of a, I guess, rotational hitting concept, but we're not even going to call it that. It's not, well, we've got another video on that as well, but what it is here is when we're going into contact, we can either take the body and we can drag the bat here to square, so that bat's going to be roughly in that same position. And you can see that I've had to move my body a whole lot, or we can release the bat properly by unhinging and rolling over the wrist, and you can see that I can get that bat to the same spot without a ton of upper body movement. I can also gain a lot more speed because now I'm putting the speed in the bat and not my body. So how do we use this release in our swing from that max bat lag position? Well, we do just like I just said. We work on unhinging and rolling over the wrist in one smooth movement. So if we're in this max lag position, I'll get up here a little bit closer so you guys can see a little bit better. If I'm in this max lag position, if I start from here, unhinging and rolling over my wrist, that's how I'm going to get the release. If I'm doing this at speed, it's going to look a little bit differently. But from this max lag position, we've gone here. And you guys, if you haven't seen the max bat lag position video, check out that video because that's going to be a very important part. If we can understand that we want to start releasing our hands from this point, and we don't want to hold the bat and then release, we want to start releasing from here, then we can start getting a ton more speed in our swing because now we're letting that bat travel a long ways with a very powerful move in our swing.
And guys, just so we're very clear on the instruction here, this is how we get that bat to split the forearms in two. I've had some students ask in the past, well, how do I get that to happen? I say, well, we have to unhinge and roll over our wrist to get the bat to split our forearms in two. And just to give you a couple real-life examples here, here's Miguel Cabrera. We'll actually go ahead and take him into contact position so we can see the same exact release right here. We're going to mark contact here where the ball is just leaving the bat, and we'll take him right into his full straight arm release. And we can see that's how he has gotten this bat to split the forearms in two. If we draw a line right down the bat, we can see both arms dead straight and the bat splitting the forearms in two because he's now released the bat. If I get rid of these lines, we can see that right hand start to get over the left hand. So he's a little bit more gradual, but he's still releasing the bat. And one more very good example here. Here we have Robinson Cano coming into contact here. We'll go ahead and do the same thing. We'll mark him at contact here, right where that bat's leaving, and we can see that bat starting to split the forearms in two just after contact. And if we look at his left hand, his top hand's getting over his right hand. Guys, we can't get that bat to release unless we're unhinging and rolling over. So keep in mind, guys, these are pretty much ideal swings. You know, on certain situations, let's say we get jammed and we have to hold the bat off, we're not going to see this nice release because we're going to have to pull the hands in to try to get the barrel on the ball. But this is what we should be striving for. We should be striving for ideal release with ideal contact, and we do that by letting the hands unhinge and roll over.
So the drill that I'm going to have you guys do to kind of start feeling this is done from the max bat lag position. So if you guys remember from the straight arm release section, the bat lag pause and release drills, it's very similar to those drills. It's just going to have an emphasis on the release. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off from slow to fast like we do with most drills in the pro swing system. Is we're going to get into our load stride position. We're going to pause in that max bat lag position, making sure we're hitting all of our max lag checkpoints. And from here, we're going to very slowly unhinge and roll over those wrists. So you can see after contact, my right hand, my top hand has gotten over my left hand. Let me go ahead and show you here from down the line. Okay, so I'm going to load stride, get into my max bat lag position, and I'm just thinking about from here, you can see my wrists are hinged back. I'm unhinging and rolling over those wrists. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. Now we're going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit. Your checkpoints here, guys, are to really, really allow your hands and arms to do the movement. More times than not, when I have a student working on this, what they'll do is they'll get into this max lag position, and instead of just unhinging and rolling over their wrist, they end up doing this move where they spin and try to hit the ball. We want to almost feel like our shoulders are going to stay still during this move, especially while we're training this move in our swing. So if I load stride and I get in this max lag position, you can almost mark these shoulders and let the hands and arms move through the swing. Okay, so really, really look for that when you're working on this. So we're gonna start off with just a slow moving, maybe 10-15% swing like I just did there, and then we're gonna speed it up a little bit. Okay, so then we're gonna jump it up to about 50% here, where we load stride here, and then from here we're just gonna feel those hands and arms, or the wrists, roll over or unhinge and roll over, and have the hands and arms move the bat through the zone. Okay, so you can see a lot of hands in that swing right there, but you can still see there's plenty of speed, even from a still position. Even though my swing's already halfway done, I can still get a lot of speed because I'm letting those wrists unhinge and roll over each other. Okay, guys, I would say if you're going to start working on this, get a good 100 reps in at the 10 to 15% range, another 100 at the 50% range, and then go ahead and start trying it out from the top of your swing, where you're going to go ahead and recreate that lag and release position from the top of your swing, where you're going to load stride, lag, and let those hands and arms release through the ball with a ton of efficiency. Guys, if you do that, you're going to maximize your bat speed, If you get the timing of it, you're going to notice a huge jump in your numerical bat speed, and it's going to feel a lot better because you're going to be a lot more consistent because there's a lot less variable with the body pulling the bat through versus the hands and arms doing their job. All right, guys, get out there, work on your release, understand it, and let it work for you. We'll talk to you guys soon. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I got an even better bonus video for you. Every great hitter gets into a nice tight lag position, and if you want to get maximum speed in your swing, you have to get in this position. I'm going to play a preview of a video that's going to show you exactly how to do that at the end of this video. I highly recommend that you check it out. Good luck with your games, and we'll see you guys soon. Today, I'm going to show you the #1 move that kills bat lag, but most importantly, we're going to do a drill that will instantly give you a tight transition into bat lag and have your swing looking drastically better today. The move that I'm talking about here is when we're going into our transition and the bat lays down, and now the only thing that we have to rely on for bat speed is our pure strength. From Mike Trout, he does this really, really well. You'll see as we pause him here in the max bat lag position, his barrel is really high, and you can see that it's barely dipping into that line. You can imagine if this was a nail and this bat was a hammer, if I was trying to hammer this nail in like this would be kind of like me dumping the bat. But if I'm letting this hammer swing and slam into this ball over and over again, I'm going to be very, very efficient. Now, I'm sure you guys are ready for it by now. Let's go ahead and dive into the wall drill. All right, guys, here we go, the wall drill.